What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be trying out something new today. We're going to be trying out this Dr. Color chip. As you've probably seen in previous videos, we have a lot of rock chips on the car. I hate to say this, and I wish I really didn't have to say this. If you've seen in part of our detailing series, especially the exterior one right here, we wet sanded the whole hood because of like an adhesive, right? So it's been about a month since then, but take a look at it. So sadly enough, you can tell it's pretty foggy and it kind of came back somehow. I have no idea how. We had these rock chips that we had to worry about mainly. Some throughout the hood and the front that we were going to try to take care of. There's a lot on this car, and I really hate to say this, that what we didn't technically work. But I mean, our last resort now is we'll just have to repaint the hood. So for the most part, we're going to try and work on these fenders. It's kind of weird saying that we're going to try to use some color chip, the Dr. Color chip for this, when there's a million chips here, when the better idea would probably just be to get the whole car repainted, because as you can see here on like the side mirrors, if you look really close, and it's kind of just everywhere. The front bumper's okay. That has been painted from before, and that's probably the most recent paint job out of everything in the car. But yeah, since we already bought it, we're going to go ahead and just try it out and just see how it works. That way, for those of you who have minor rock chips that are not as bad as ours, and you see that it works on this car, you can go ahead and try it on yours. This would be kind of like a test slash review of Dr. Color chip. We'll just see how well it works. We already prepped the surfaces that we're going to be working on. It's clean, and we wiped it all down with rubbing alcohol. Obviously, once we're all done, we're going to just have to recoat it with ceramic coating. According to the videos we saw and the instructions on the back, we just have to clean the panel, put it on kind of messy, wipe it over, and then use the Seal-Act to kind of like level it and then buff it out. It seems simple enough in the videos, but we're going to go ahead and see if it actually works. These are some of the bigger and deeper scratches that we're probably going to try out. And if it works on there, I'll be surprised. And if it does, at least you'll know what product to go with to fix your paint chips. We're told to like put it on pretty thick, so. Shit, that looks thick to me. But we're supposed to like level it out, kind of do that. This is obviously like the worst case scenario because this is like a huge chip, you know. Ah, that just took off the paint. Use my finger. Squeegee kind of just like ripped it all off. Okay, now that that's on pretty messy, let it dry for like 5 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, and then we'll go over with, this is the Seal-Act thing I was talking about. Probably gonna put like just a few drops. That seems good enough. Don't want to put too much because you never know. Oh, all right, let's see what happens. It says just do it flat, I guess. So I can already see like there's like the access paint, but like it's rubbing off. So far I don't see any white. So the goal is here, like I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it's like clumped up in certain areas because we put it on pretty thick. But we're like rubbing, we're just gonna keep rubbing it until all that excess stuff is off, and then hopefully we don't see any white left over. It's all the excess paint. But they said to use a microfiber, buff it out. That's not bad. I mean, it filled it. It didn't do a crappy job, but you know, it didn't get everything. So maybe we have to pass through one more time. But it did fill in most of it. All we're trying to do is make it less noticeable, because there's just so much, there's not really much you could do. But as long as it makes it less noticeable, that's better, because this is a black car and you have like really bright white rock chips. You can see it a little too easily. So this is just like temporary for the meantime until we figure out our plans of what we're gonna do as far as painting it or even wrapping it or whatever. We're gonna go ahead and put one more layer on these big ones and then see how that goes. So I'm gonna do what Jirath said, not put too much access this time, kind of just like push the paint in. If I could say anything right now, it's just a lot of, this paint can go a long way, so don't put too much like I'm doing.
Definitely looks better, but it's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. Like I said, it's just like gonna be a cover up, so it's not as noticeable. I mean, this hood's like all messed up anyway, so there's not much we could do to make it like worse. So if anything, this kind of made it better.
Because before you'll see like a super white marks, like something like that. But now it's like, kind of like blend in with the hood. So from 10 feet away, you probably can't even tell.
It'll do a better job on like the smaller rock chip or like the little micro rock chips. But for these bigger ones and like the gashes, like it's not going to do much. You'll cover it up, but it's not going to do anything like magical. We'll move on to the other areas to kind of address those. And then for whatever we have left over, we're going to go ahead and go over the bigger ones. So we already did this area of the fender. There's a lot of microchips. You can see it doesn't look too bad, but this is what it used to look like. Basically like this. I mean, everything's a lot more noticeable. All those microchips that are white, you can see pretty well, and they're pretty bright. So that's what this side looks like. And then we just started doing this side a little bit, and it looks a lot better. It's not completely gone, like I said, but it's less noticeable. So it definitely works to an extent. I would say if you have smaller rock chips and not as many as we do, then yeah, this is gonna work. It's gonna do a good job for you. But if you have like a crazy amount like we do, obviously it's a temporary fix, but it's to the point to where it's like, it's good enough.
You say that word a lot. Good enough.
So on the side skirts, you can see, wow, that's really bad. But if we could do anything to cover that up, you can actually see in some of the pictures that I take on Instagram. If you want to follow No Rush M3 right here, you can kind of see that it shows this in the pictures, but if we can cover it up somehow, that's cool with me. And then we just have like little areas. We have little areas like that and like this. So we're going to do our best to use what we got to clean it up, and honestly just hope for the best. I can't hate it. It looks better.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, coming from
It was
the
super
detailing
white.
paint expert himself, what do you think, in your opinion?
I never used them before, but it actually looks pretty good. I mean, you can see the before and after in the video. It looks so much better.
From this far away, you can barely even tell. Let me try to get it in focus. You can barely tell it's there. And there was a lot. I mean, if you go like up close, you can see how it just gets filled in with black and it's not as bright of a white, which is good. Because I mean, nobody's gonna be this close to the paint and see like how detailed it is. 3 feet away, you're barely gonna see it, and then on camera from here you can barely see it. And then compare it to this side, you can pretty much see the white. This side's not as bad. For some reason, the left side of the car is a lot worse. But weirdly enough, we're probably just gonna end up smearing it all over these microchip areas, and it's gonna take care of it, because this looks really good in my opinion. I don't hate this at all.
So you can see this area is pretty bad too. You just see a lot of white dots. These dots were like on the fender earlier, but Dr. Colorship kind of took care of it. Yeah, so we're gonna do this part next, so you're gonna see the differences here. And then Dr. Colorship recommended you doing I think 6x6, so 6" by 6". Don't do too big of the area so you don't mess it up, I guess. Then we'll do small area at a time.
So sadly, we're gonna have to do this to majority parts of the car, but it'll be worth it. It'll look really good. Obviously, as you know, this is gonna be a track car, so we're not worried about it too much, but it's nice to know that it looks a little bit better, if that makes any sense. You don't want it to be like, we're not trying to make it like absolutely perfect, enough to where it just looks good. It's an E46 M3, you want it to look good, you don't want it to look like a piece of crap. I probably don't recommend the way we're doing it. We're just like smearing it over everything, and for some reason it's working. Maybe we're just getting lucky, but it's covering up like pretty much almost all of the rock chips. Just make sure what you do is you are wiping it flat and you don't, go crazy like Jirath is, but
I'm not.
But I mean,
this is very gentle, guys.
Weirdly enough, he's not like adding a lot of pressure. He's kind of just like leveling it out, but it's working, so we're just gonna stick to what works. It doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to look. Can I buff the top?
Yeah.
So to buff it, just buff it. You're gonna get a lot of swirls from using that towel and, you know, just kind of rubbing on the paint. It'll probably get cleaned up with the wax, but Jirath said maybe we might give it a light polish after we let it cure for a little while. What do you think?
Okay. I really want to flash the light so you can see it, but it really hurts me.
But the good thing is, look, now you can't even see, you can barely see the rock chips. All right, so we just got done. When I show you guys, it's not going to be like completely gone. It's like brand new paint. Like, it's not going to look like that. But like I mentioned a million times, it's just going to hide it a little better. So looking at it from 4 feet away, it looks 10 times better. But you know, if you get up close, you could still kind of see the rock chips and whatnot, but it doesn't look as bad. So do I think this works? Yes. Was I worried that it wasn't going to work? Yes. If I were to rate this product, it'd probably be like, honestly, like an 8 out of 10. Like, it did a really good job. It did what it was supposed to do, I would say. Jirath, what do you think?
Probably same thing, 8 out of 10. And it's like, well, very easy to use too. If you're not professional, then it's pretty easy to work with, you know, just like I said, remember 6x6. Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and jump till tomorrow. I'll show it in the light just to give you guys a better idea. All right, so this is what it looks like in the daylight. The hood, it's almost non-existent. You can kind of see it. Scratches, but it did its job, you know. It did exactly what we wanted it to. You can barely see it now. Oh, it looks so much better. Look at that. We also did a little bit of the side skirts. It was kind of hard to do this side. It wasn't going to make it perfect, but I mean, it looks a lot better than before. That's for sure. And then the rear quarter panel right here. Sorry, the car's a little dirty, but that's clean. So it looks so much better now. You can barely tell that anything's there. But like I said, going up close, nobody's going to really even be going up this close to the car, but you'll be able to see like little things like that. I don't mind. We don't want to keep, we can probably add on a little bit more and try to get it a little bit better, but I'm not worried about it too much. In the end, it looks a lot better than it did. So that's pretty much it for this video. I highly recommend Dr. Color Chip if you have minor rock chips that you want to treat, or even major ones. As you can tell from this video, you're going to see the difference between how it looked before versus how it looked now. It's not going to get rid of everything, but what it's going to do is it's going to cover it up nicely and pretty effectively. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this video. I appreciate you guys staying to the end, and I'll see you guys in the next video.